Hello, everybody. Welcome to our review of Y the Last Man, Volume 7. We haven't done this in a really long time, and I am out of practice.
Yes,
Um,
me too.
terribly, terribly out of
Hello,
practice.
everyone.
You know what's funny? I actually had to go look at like my backlog of videos to see what I
Hmm.
used to call these things. Like I was like, oh crap, what did we call these? I knew
Something
we had
about
a title.
men. It was something to do with men. I can't remember.
Something about men and maybe the last. Oh god, I don't remember. But thank you for joining us if you are, and my cohort in crime, Doctor Monkeybot
Hello.
Adam.
Hello.
We
It's
we
been way
finally
too long.
get together 6 months after our last one, I believe it was.
Yeah, pretty much.
Whatever. We'll
Yeah,
do these whenever.
yeah. I wasn't. I don't know if when we started we realised this was going to be like a Mark Millar comic, and we just be 6 months between issues. It wasn't the plan.
Oh no, that was not the plan. Uh,
No.
um, that was funny. Oh goodness. All right. Well, yeah. As I said, we're gonna discuss Why the Last Man, Volume 7. This is Paper Dolls.
Hmm.
Um, a rather uneventful volume of this
Yeah,
title, but
yeah. There's
still
nothing.
had fantastic parts.
Yeah, there's no major big story thing that happened in this. Really, it's kind of everyone manoeuvring into different positions and just furthering the plot a little bit and giving us a bit of background on everyone and a bit more depth to some of the relationships in there. So I actually really like this volume because nothing huge happens, but it just furthers the story really nicely.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't think something huge has to happen in order for
No.
us to like this, because really,
Mm.
um, the main thing I take away from this is the interaction of the characters. Like there doesn't have to be craziness going on, just the everyday interaction between Yorick and 350 and Dr. Man,
Yeah.
and the random other women that come and go.
Yeah. And that's
um
one of the things I actually love about this volume is that we get some of those other random women that we particularly like reappearing and teaming up with other people that we don't necessarily like as much, and it just starts these little
oh
groups off.
oh
And yeah,
Beth.
oh, Beth too. Oh, Scarface Beth too. Oh
Oh
no.
goodness. Oh.
Yeah.
Yep. So we start off this volume. um where did we start off this volume?
So the
Oh,
last one finished with them heading to Australia
that's right. They
because Ampersand has been kidnapped, monkey napped, and
poor
they were off to try
Ampersand.
and find him. I can't remember how they figured out that he'd headed that way. I think it's a tracking device, isn't there, in Ampersand?
I believe so, but didn't they like? I think they managed to hitch a ride on this submarine that was
Yeah,
stopping by Australia first before heading to where
Japan.
Ampersand is. Yeah, Japan.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. So they're on the way to Japan where they know that Ampersand's gone to.
Yeah, but first they have to stop off at Australia,
Yes.
which is where Yorick's fiance Beth is at.
Beth One is there somewhere in the outback, apparently,
Yes,
maybe.
supposedly.
Yeah.
We're not really sure.
No
Well,
one really knows where she is.
yeah, Yorick has no idea.
No. And Yorick seems to think that Australia is like a place that he can look around in a day
Yeah,
and find
he
one
used to be like,
person.
oh, you know, Australia is the size of Detroit. Just walk
Should be
around,
fine.
see what we find.
At this point, there should be no problem. Should be
Or
amongst all the
maybe the
heroin
size
addicts.
of London. Maybe we'll say that.
Yeah, yeah.
Although I
There's
can't really equate Detroit to London. So anyway,
some parts of London.
maybe.
um,
um, there
but
you go.
we get this journalist who crops up, and that's sort of what brings us into the story in Australia.
Yes.
And she drives a lot of the story, well, the first part of this anyway, because it kind
Yeah.
of it's one of the ones that it doesn't. whereas some split into 2 stories. This one's kind of 3 or 4 small ones really in there.
Yeah.
The first part was with this journalist, which is the main part of it, and then we get a few other backstory bits and pieces.
Right. Yeah, we start off with her asking asking a bunch of different girls what they know about a man. You know, have you seen any men around? And they're all spreading rumors of what they've heard. Well, I heard there's one, blah blah blah. You know, and then actually one great part in this that I really thought was funny. Was one of the ladies says, "What about the astronauts?"
Yeah.
Which we have already dealt with in previous volumes.
Yeah.
So
of course, I love the name of the newspaper that the hack journalist works for as well.
yeah, the monthly
Visitor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's basically right. The monthly Visitor is effectively the Weekly World News by the sounds of it. She's just writes this terrible newspaper that just relies on ridiculous stories and things that are all effectively made up. But
yeah, terrible gossip and you know, like the National Enquirer basically.
Yeah.
Just you know, terrible journalism.
Yeah. So she's on the hunt for a man because she's heard these rumours, and then they sort of bring us up to speed with this conversation with Yorick and 255 and Dr. Mann and what's her name? Is it Rose?
Is
the one-eyed Australian super agent? I think it's Rose.
Yeah, her name.
And they kind of just get in the conversation and bring us all up to speed about what's going on. About our monkey's missing. I don't know where the monkey is. My girlfriend's here, and
you need to let me go look for her because Australia is the size of a penny.
Yeah.
And I can find her.
Yeah.
Basically, they give Yorick 24 hours to go out and see if he can find Beth one.
Yeah.
Which, I'm pretty sure you could get lost pretty well in Australia in 24 hours.
You could get lost in just the harbour of Sydney in 24 hours.
Yeah, probably. I've never been myself.
Big city of it.
But
especially seeing as it seems to have just become one massive shooting gallery of heroin addicts.
Yeah, that's the fantastic thing about Australia now is apparently it's all just drug run and heroin addicts.
Yeah. So for some reason the whole city's been flooded with heroin, and it's just everyone is heroin addicts.
Well, who doesn't love heroin? Come on.
Just so Moorish. But it does. The heroin addict thing does give me one of my favourite moments in this whole volume, because Yorick ends up dressed up in a full burqa, head to foot, so no one can tell who he is.
Here we go. Right there. That's Yorick dressed up in his disguise.
And they end up heading off to try and find where Beth was based. So the school affected her that she was connected to do her anthropology stuff.
Yeah.
And it does lead to a conversation between 355 and Yorick, which brings up the whole 355 and Dr. Mann having sex thing. How it's just created a really weird balance in the group. Yeah,
it kind of made things a bit strange.
Yeah. And that starts to become quite interesting as it goes through the rest of this volume. But the conversations that 355 and Yorick have coming out of that, and why he's upset with it, and what she's feeling about it, start to suggest they're both thinking other things about each other.
Yeah.
Without ever actually talking about it.
Yeah, because you wouldn't want to just come out and speak about it. No.
God, no.
Beat around the bush. Let everybody just.
Where would the soap opera fun be if you just talked about it?
Yeah. But yeah, they 355 and Yorick end up at this school.
Yeah.
And they're looking around, and they happen to come across this note written on the wall.
Yeah.
Is that blood?
I was going to say it seems to be in blood, but they don't mention that or freak out about it.
I was just going to say,
is that written in blood?
That looks like blood.
Yeah.
And I would freak the fuck out.
Yeah. But there's no mention of the blood at all. It's just, there's a note.
Yeah. and the notes contents like, Beth, are you alive? Like, if so,
Yeah.
come to Palmer's. Just get the fuck out of here, Margot.
And this leads to one of my favourite moments in the whole thing, and it's such a perfect Yorick moment when these four heroin addicted Australians said I was going, oi, oi, oi! And Yorick's reaction, rather than thinking heroin addicts, is zombies! And he runs away.
Yeah.
Where the hell have you got zombies from?
Because why would like?
He's such an idiot.
He's so funny. I love him.
Yeah.
But yeah, his first reaction: zombies.
And then 355 once again proves what an unbelievable badass she is.
That's when I messaged you.
Yeah.
Right at this part, I was like, oh my
It
god,
might be.
I totally forgot how badass 355 was.
Yeah, she just whips out that stick thing and then just takes one of them out with a torch. And
Yeah, it's fantastic.
yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she is fantastic.
When you're hiding in a bush outside.
with his shirt over his head. I'm hiding.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he's spotted by someone, another lady that already talked to the reporter, and called her, to let her know that she has seen a man.
Yeah.
Then we go to Dr. Mann and Rose talking on top of the submarine.
Yeah.
And things start.
Yeah, they're having a nice conversation.
Yeah, until Rose calls her an uptight twat. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, they give Rose some great Australian slang.
Yeah. But talking about just being friends and stuff, and Dr. Mann says I have enough friends already, or too many friends already.
Yeah.
Which leads to further things later on in the volume.
Yup.
Yup. But then we cut back to York and 355. Walking around trying to figure out where Palmer's is. And all of a sudden, out of the shadows, comes a hand with a taser.
Yeah. Where the journalist gets a taser from, and just the fact this shitty journalist can take out 355,
I was kind of pissed off. I gotta be honest, because this was right after she beat the shit. Yeah, she just beat the shit out of 4 junkies.
Yeah. And then she gets tased by some old woman in the alley.
Right.
Yeah. And then she's a very interesting plan for showing the world that a man exists.
Get out of your clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we come up with full frontal male nudity.
Yep. She makes Yorick strip and takes a picture.
Yep. So, yeah.
Yeah, we come back to that in a minute, but
yeah. But first, we get this fun story about 355 and her past.
Yeah, we get a couple of flashbacks to 355's past in this volume.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that we get more in depth with her, like her past and how she becomes who she is.
Yeah. And it really fleshes out a bit of the background of the Culper Ring stuff and how it works a little bit. And so this one's her in her prime, which is kind of a hand or a trainer.
Yeah. 1033.
Yeah.
Is his name or number, whatever. Basically, just he's just telling her not to.
All right.
Bless you.
Thank you.
He's basically telling her, this is for real.
Mhm.
You need to kill these guys that are coming up because that's really your job. Um, and it's not a game anymore. This is real life. This
Yeah.
is what we do.
And to get her really pumped up, he punched her in the
Yeah, I did like that.
face.
He's like, "Are you
Yeah.
ready?"
We're not dicking around anymore. Just punch her in the face.
Okay, we don't condone any punching of women in the face on
No.
this show. I just
No.
want to say that.
Hmm.
Um,
This seems to be some sort of spy training technique. Apparently, that's
yeah.
fine.
Yes, that's if you're a spy, I suppose you can punch women in the face.
Yeah. I guess.
Um, only if you're training them.
Yes.
Yes.
That probably isn't the best way of training them, but apparently, in the situation when you're about to shoot 5 AK-47 wielding soldiers in, where are they?
I don't.
Ethiopia.
Yeah, Ethiopia.
Yeah, apparently that's fine.
I
And she does then
yes.
go and blow a load of their brains out, so it
Well,
works.
she was kind of being snotty.
She was.
So he was like, "Hey, look at me." And she's like,
Mm.
"I'll look at you when I'm good at it," and he just punches her right in the face. So, get her attention, get her adrenaline pumping,
Yeah.
and then she goes and just kills these fucking guys.
Yep. Yeah, she
That's
does.
basically it. I did like how in this page, like the main focus, like when you first look at it, your main focus is focused on her and these guys she's killing, yeah.
Yeah.
But then if you look up here in the corner,
Yeah.
you see 1033 out the window shooting people as well. So you kind of like, I don't know. I thought that was neat. A
Yeah.
good way to
And
do that.
it kind of makes me think how many of these are actually, because she's just running around shooting wildly, and he's just like doom, doom, doom. Whether this is
Yeah,
part of the training thing as well, and she's not really taking any of them out. She's just getting past that
yeah,
resistance of actually killing people. And he's, yeah.
yeah. And then we come back to present time.
Mhm.
Um,
Yorick back in his pants.
yeah, wearing nothing but boxers.
Yeah.
She wakes up and she's like, "What the fuck? Like, where are your clothes?"
I do like his Lincoln had a better bodyguard than you.
Yeah. The porno freak who zapped you and took a picture of my junk. I love that.
And I love his reaction. She does the whole thing about like this could mean war between, which is like what happened with the Israelis and us, and it could be worse, and it could be war against all the nations. And his one reaction is, "I didn't even have time to chump up."
Yeah.
Like everyone in the world's going to see it, and I didn't even have a chance to get ready.
I was preternaturally flaccid. Sometimes you just can't help it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not a situation that's going to be conducive to looking your best.
yeah, not really. And then we cut to journalist chick sending out the roll of film to be sent to her like office.
Yeah, I think because she's sending a telegraph, but I don't understand whether she's then whether there's like an international postal system that she's using now that is somehow started to exist.
I was curious
And
about
she
that.
can
I was
just
like, how
post
did
it.
this just crop up all of a sudden?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she must be keeping it with her, but she doesn't seem to have it later, so I don't know what she's doing.
Yeah, I have no
She's
idea.
obviously sending a message to say I've got proof, but then it's she doesn't. I don't think there's any way she can send that proof in a way that's going to get it there.
Well, I want to know how they decided to keep the like photo developing system working. Like
Yeah,
my one thought in a a world that's just been like torn apart and is like everything is crumbling. When you look at the scenery of the this book, the
hmm.
shop windows are busted out, buildings are crumbling down. I know I got to get my dark room back up and running so I can take pictures.
Yeah,
That's not
it
my
doesn't
first.
seem like it'd be a priority.
No, not really. But whatever.
Yeah, you need it for the plot, so that's fine.
Then we cut back to Rose and Dr. Mann.
And there's a whole conversation about who's running what country, and
Yeah.
that Australia is getting all their Queen Elizabeth being the person that's given all the big direction. And a wee conversation about whether Hillary Clinton would have been the president if all of this hadn't happened. It's
Yep.
kind of strange.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. The timing on the reading of that was a bit like, oh, that's weird. Okay.
Yeah, it's just kind of like all of a sudden. So who runs this country? Are we really gonna talk about this right now?
Yeah.
Like we have more things. We have other things that are more pressing.
Yeah.
In this book.
Conversation about who's run what country, and then we'll go and find some kites.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Rose is taking.
When I read that part, I immediately thought of Mary Poppins. Let's go fly a kite up to the highest height. I was just like, oh, good lord.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of other stuff going on, but Rose clearly has one objective in mind, and it's not getting the monkey back.
No.
Yeah,
No.
She's got a plan.
She does.
Yes.
Then we cut back to Yorick and 355.
Yeah.
Discussing.
Yeah, discussing the relationship between her and her prime. And I love this was one bit that again I just absolutely pissed myself when he's talking. Because it turns out she was nearly married to her prime, but they broke it off and things. And when she says it was to 1033, my prime, and he just says, "What is that? A fucking transformer?"
Yeah, I loved that.
Yeah.
And then she goes on to explain that male culpa ring agents are known by prime numbers, and hers was 1033. And then Yorick says, "So you were dating your teacher? Ew." And then the funny thing throughout all of this is, no matter what's happening through this volume, Yorick is always saying, we have to go find Beth. Yeah, I don't care what's going on. We have to go find Beth. Oh, by the way, Beth is in Australia. We need to go find her because we're here.
I'm in Australia and she's in Australia, so...
You know, we have to find each other.
Yeah. Idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they try and 355. They sort of overhear some junkies talking about this woman that's buying information about men, and they kind of know where to find her. So the 355 just threatens them again.
Yep. And then we cut. There's a lot of cutting in this volume.
There is. There's lots of different stories that move along.
Yeah. So then we go back to Rose and Dr. Mann flying a kite.
Yeah, Rose continuing her plan.
Yep, and then there's the holding. Like I got this feeling like the movie Ghost.
Yeah.
When they're doing the clay pot thing.
Yeah.
But instead we're doing it with stunt kites.
Yeah. Stunt kites in the dark.
So hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we get Yorick and 355 going after this woman, where 355 got the information from the two junkies about where the journalist can be found at the Four Seasons.
Well, I did love the welcome to the Four Seasons. Trespassers will be killed.
Yeah.
And once again, Yorick proved himself to be an idiot because he promised 355 they'd be able to get in through the air vents, which apparently were 6 inches by 4 inches.
Yeah, you can totally make that.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
For those of you who can't wrap that measurement around your head, that is the size of a regular photograph. That is this size.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah. Once again, Yorick, bit of an idiot.
Just a little.
And then they end up having confrontation with journalist woman in her bedroom. Which leads to 355 pushing her off the balcony, which seems to be about 15 stories up. One
Yeah,
of the
that's
looks
a
at these
lot.
balconies. Yeah.
That is a. I count 10.
10 stories up.
Yeah, 10 stories. Oh my god. And that's
Yeah.
like that's the cliffhanger for issue 2 of this volume.
hmm
And you're just kind of like, oh my god, what the hell? And then we come back to the next issue with Dr. Man and Rose laying there naked underneath a sheet smoking a cigarette.
Yeah. Rose's plan.
Done.
Yep. Didn't take long.
No.
There to talk about politics and kites. Done.
And then let's just bang it out.
Yeah. I do like Rose though. She's such a great character. One of the
Yeah, she's
people
another
who feel
one.
wasted now. So apparently this is the first time Doctor Man smoked.
Yeah.
Yes. And they've had a lovely time.
And then they talk about uh, being a spy versus a killer and what Rose does.
Yeah.
And she just comes right out and says, "Look, I'm a spy, pretty much."
Mm.
And then we're supposed to be surprised later on at something, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Dr. Man seems fairly oblivious to
like,
that.
don't get me wrong, she's insanely intelligent, but really, you didn't see that coming?
Yeah. Like, you should come with us. You should come with us and you should hang out with us all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh darn! I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we cut back to Yorick and watching 355 and the journalist fall to their death, screaming "Fuck!" Although I don't know what I would say either in that situation. I'd probably say the same
Probably that, to be honest.
That's probably it. Because what else do you say? But 355 being 355, she grabs onto the railing of a lower level and also grabs the journalist. And it has this great line in here. Like, she grabs her and, like, hurts her arm, and she's like, "How much do you fucking weigh?" So she pretty much just called the journalist a fat cow. And you're welcome for saving your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it
was fun.
Put her back in.
And yeah, they get back into the hotel.
Yeah.
Yorick is.
Journalist knocks Yorick out of the way because Yorick's.
He's not the person you want by your side in hand-to-hand combat. Just saying.
No, not really.
But instead of stopping her, he grabs her plane ticket, or her boarding pass, and they find out where the journalist was heading, on what flight at what airport, blah blah blah. So they go there, find her, screaming at the airplane because they left her there.
Yeah.
And Yorick and 355 show up, and 355 does her 355 thing and beats the fucking shit out of her.
She really loses it.
Like, she just goes nuts, and I love it.
Yeah. To the extent that Yorick's like, whoa, what are you doing?
And then
he tries to calm her down a couple of times and then pulls a gun on her to stop her.
Gun on her. Like, whoa. And he calls her young lady. That's right. That's enough, young lady.
Yeah.
What did you say to me? Well, it's something my mom used to say to my sister when she was beating me up.
Yeah. But yeah, her reaction is pretty big. It's she's really protective over Yorick at this point,
Yeah,
and the idea that anyone else might find out about it, then it's kind of you find out this. I think this exposes that it's more than just a job now. She's not
yeah.
just trying to protect him to get him from one place to the other. It's the thought of anyone else seeing his unchubbed up penis is just gets her incandescent rage. And she beats people half to death.
I, I did love this part where she was like, "So you're suddenly okay with your naked body being exploited for every woman on the planet?" He says,
Yeah.
I'm a grower, not a shower."
Oh my god, bless you, Yorick.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah. And then they find out where Palmer's is from the journalist.
Yeah. And Yorick comes to the conclusion that no one's going to believe it anyway. It's a shitty newspaper. Everyone will think it's just made up.
Yeah.
So
Like, really, who believes anything that's coming out of the like Star Magazine or the National
Yeah.
Enquirer? Nobody.
yeah,
So, he's just like, it's just another day in the tabloids kind of thing.
yeah. And then we
Um,
find out that Rose's plan goes beyond just having sex with Dr. Mann.
yep. Of course.
She's a spy.
That's right. So, yeah, we find out that she's supposed to infiltrate the group with Yorick, and everything is going according to plan, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah,
Dr.
sure.
Man needs companionship.
Yes. She does
Of the-
seem to be putting it around a little bit in
Yeah,
recent volumes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a lonely doctor.
Mm-hmm. Lonely, cold, uptight doctor.
Then we go to 355 and Yorick, back in his burqa,
Yeah.
heading out to Palmer's. And in this part, they kind of tackle the subject of why Yorick got so upset when he found out that 355 and Dr. Mann had slept together.
Yeah.
Yeah, she assumes that he was jealous that she got to be with Dr. Mann, or
Because he does
that,
say I was jealous, and she's like,
Yeah.
oh, because Dr. Mann got to be with me.
yeah. Like, this is the greatest part that I can't say. Like, I feel completely uncomfortable saying it.
Yeah.
Uh,
I was leaving it for you to say if you were going to say it, but
It's
Yeah.
okay. Here, I will show it, and hopefully you guys can read it. No, you can't. It's gonna show shitty. Oh God, I feel like I need to say it, but I can't.
yeah.
You'll just have to buy this volume and see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But it is
Yorick's
hilarious. It
reaction
had me
is
cracking up.
fantastic. Yeah.
So yeah, then Yorick just tells her, "I'm not jealous of the particular situation, just that you two aren't lonely and pathetic like him, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, they found somebody to spend some time with, and he has not. That's why he's jealous."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, that's the conversation they have. I don't know how much of it rings true or not is another thing, but yeah.
yeah. Then they show up at Palmer's and meet blue-haired chick. I don't even remember what her name is.
No, I don't remember what her name is either. But she was the one who was with Beth when they were out in the outback before Beth was kidnapped by the Aboriginals.
Yeah, they. Bangin' Beth DeVille?
I love that that's her nickname.
Yeah.
Haven't seen Beth. That would be her nickname.
Yeah, so
And it
she just
turns
goes
out
on
that
to.
Beth's not in Australia. Beth decided to go to Paris to meet Yorick.
Yeah. So she's not even in Australia. So
No.
this 24 hours in Australia where he could find her, of course, is
Yeah.
wasted. Because
Yeah.
she knows that Yorick would go meet her in Paris for some reason that he is
Yeah,
unaware
this
of.
is really interesting. He's like, what are you talking about? This is that. I don't know. This feels like the first point that Yorick might be thinking maybe this isn't such a good person to be looking for. I don't even
Yeah.
know why he thinks we should be going to Paris.
Why am I supposed to be in Paris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um.
But they talk about the fact that she saw it in a dream after she was kidnapped by these Aboriginals.
Yeah.
Um, it, we get another. Best Dream was one of my favourite bits of. Was it the last volume or the volume before? I think it was the last volume.
I think it was the last one.
And we get one of my other favourite dreams in the whole series at the end of this volume, which I can't wait to get to. It's just fantastic. Skipping ahead to that, we then get Yorick's mum crying at the picture of her naked son, which I found deeply creepy.
Yeah. My beautiful little fool. Like, it's
Mum!
awkward. Mom.
Yeah. Stop it!
But
I have a penis!
and then of course we have Alter show up like out of nowhere and just kind of blows Yorick's mom's face off.
She seems to, yeah. Yeah, we get that, the moment that's cliffhanger at the end of that issue where she just...
Blam!
And then we don't come back to that in this volume.
No, you don't. You just kind of left there and you're like, you get like 3 pages of Yorick's mom and that's it.
And then there's, what, 3 issues after this, and that's the end of that volume. So there's a good 3 issues that we don't come back to it. I can't remember at what point that story returns, but it's definitely not in this volume.
Yeah, not in this volume at all.
And then we get this single.
But we get one of our favorite characters back.
Amazing. Yeah.
Well, not Hero. Hero's not one of our favorite characters.
No.
Because she's just a crazy bitch.
Yeah.
Hero being Yorick's sister.
She's having her own journey. She's coming out of it a little bit, but
yeah.
Still. Yeah.
It's Hero. Like she's just a crazy bitch.
Yeah.
But she is in California.
Yep.
Looking for Scarface Beth.
Beth too.
Oh, Beth too.
The hottest of all the Beths.
And this is what she finds. Beth 2 is completely pregnant.
Massively pregnant Beth.
Like, not a little bit pregnant, like about to give birth any second pregnant.
Yeah.
Beth
and
2.
I love when we get that next page where it's just the 5 panels and it's Hero figuring out exactly what that means. And she's like in shock, and then she's like, but all the men died 3.5 years ago. Except shock face.
Son of a bitch. Fucking dog. And then Beth goes on to talk to Hero, like, it's not like that. He didn't come after me. I seduced him.
Yeah.
It just kind of happened.
Because they'll come back too.
Yeah. And Hero was sent on an expedition to find Beth 2 to give her a note from Yorick. Which we are led to believe is just a goodbye letter.
I love that panel of Beth 2's eyes reading the letter.
Oh, yeah.
Because Pia Guerra's artwork there. It is Pia Guerra in that issue, isn't it? I think she does all of this volume.
I believe so.
Oh no, Goran Sudzuka, maybe he does this issue.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look exactly like your Pia Guerra stuff. No, it is Goran Sudzuka. Such a good artist. You can tell that she's reading something that she's not going to be able to say exactly what it is that she's reading just from that small panel with the eyes.
Yeah.
Really well done. And yeah, so Tess says, yeah, it was a goodbye letter.
Yep. He was looking for his true love. And then Hero goes on to say fucking dog again.
Yeah.
Then Beth welcomes Hero in. Like, come on in to my church.
And then it just gets
suddenly,
ridiculous. A nun and 2 Vatican guards.
Like, what the, like, I was reading this and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, and then they kidnap Beth too, and Hero and take them to a castle.
I'm just like, what the shit?
Yeah. And it turns out that they're on some sort of holy mission from the Vatican to track down.
This is the most.
It's just,
This is the most ridiculous thing because I kind of feel like it would be true.
yeah.
Like, so what's going on with this nun and these 2 Vatican guards? They're on a mission to find.
They're looking for a virgin birth.
Yeah, a new Mary basically, and a new Jesus.
Yeah.
The reason for this is they've heard that there is a virgin carrying a male child.
Yeah.
And they want to find him to make him pope, so he can say that women can be pope. Like
you say, everything about that kind of rings true. Like that might be something that would happen.
Exactly. Like I don't know about everybody else's religious background, but I was brought up Catholic, and I have been forced to study the Bible because I went to Catholic school from 1st to 12th grade. I've read the Bible multiple times, and it just seems like this would be something that would happen, that the church would come up with.
Yeah, but you get that into the intricacies and the ins and outs of the rules of religion and organised religion and the church, and that would be a thing that would have to happen. It's written into the rules what we do, that only the Pope can decide what happens to change the church. The Pope can only be a man, so we need a man to be. We have to find a man.
Yeah, and then he can say that a woman can be Pope, and then that way we'll be all right.
We know women need to be the Pope, but we don't need to be the Pope.
That's just so ridiculous to me. Like, in a world with no man, we need a man.
But we find out that it's not a boy that
Beth
was carrying; it is a girl.
Beth too believed in her heart that it was a boy that she was carrying. Yeah. But the nun brings an ultrasound technician as well as an ultrasound machine.
Who only speaks German.
Yeah. I did find that funny too. To do an ultrasound on Beth too, and we find out it is a female, and she seems to be still just as happy.
Yeah.
To be having this.
Hero makes up a whole story about that she was an Amazon stole sperm from a sperm bank and then inseminated her ex-girlfriend. Which the nun seems to believe and gives him a motorbike.
Yeah. So, Hero invites Beth to join her.
And it turns out the castle was like a medieval theme restaurant.
I love that. It's like medieval times. So yeah. Beth decides to go with Hero to the like underground area where the astronaut was giving birth.
Yeah, the 2 scientists there looking after the scientist twins.
Yep.
So yeah, it's Auntie Hero taking her niece and mother of niece on a road trip to keep them safe. Which, yeah, it's a nice little step for Hero in becoming a more likeable character and insane person. And then we have this nice flashback to Yorick writing the letter, and we see what the letter was. And it makes you love Yorick even more because he just cares about everyone. And he wants the best for everyone, and he wants to try and do whatever he can to make sure that happens. And his way of doing that with this was to send Hero to Beth because he knew that Beth would look after her and be a friend to her and ground her and be the person that she needed in the way that she was to him. Not exactly the same way she was to him, but
that'd be interesting.
That would be interesting.
But yeah, we find out it's not a goodbye letter. It's a please take care of my sister. She's a bit nutty letter.
Yeah, she could do with some help. She needs a friend. Yeah.
Yep.
which is really sweet.
Yeah. And then we come next issue. We start off with
So they just throw so much. What I love about this volume, sorry, I was jumping in there. What I love about this
go
volume
ahead.
is that it throws in so much crazy shit that happens to them, which is just kind of like between the big story. So it's just like we've had zombies, we've had masking guards, and then we get cannibals.
Yeah. Like, there's the 355 and Rose are sitting out in the field, it looks like, and like Yorick and Dr. Mann are running, screaming, "Help!" And Rose says, "Where the hell have you two been? I thought the last boy was supposed to be waiting in the sub while you were forging for." And Yorick comes out and he says, "No time! Soylent Green! Soylent fucking Green!"
Yeah.
Soylent Green is made from people. So we find out, yes, cannibals are chasing them, because
Yep.
why not? It's Australia, and they're all heroin addicts.
They're either zombies or cannibals. And 355 has a bit of a. It's a 355 flashback issue, pretty much.
Yes, and I love that it takes place in Detroit, Michigan, because it has to.
Yeah, I really like this issue because I love the use of colour for the flashbacks.
Yeah, me too.
And that it differentiates different periods in their life. It's really well done.
And like it,
Really
I like that the good parts of this flashback are in warm colors.
Yeah.
So it's pink, and it's kind of she's having a flashback of talking to her father, who was a tailor, and it's like you can tell it's a good memory because it's done in pinks, and reds. And then we get to this second part of the flashback that is completely cold and just done in blues, where she finds out her parents were killed in a car accident.
Yeah. This poor teacher having to tell her at the school. Oh.
Yeah. Oh God. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah. No. And then it's. Yeah.
Then we go to this frigging Nazi youth.
When she's told, it's such a 355 reaction where she wets herself, but she's like, "Can I borrow some pants? Because I just wet my dress."
Right.
Yeah, she's got inner strength, that girl.
Yes.
And yeah, then she ends up being sent to some sort of horrific Nazi care home in Boston.
Yeah. Freaking. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where there's lots of mulleted boys with knives trying to cut her.
And she beats the shit out of them with a bat.
Yep, she does.
Because, you know why? She's 355.
Yep.
And then we get...
She's not yet, because then we meet 355.
Yeah. I was going to say, then we get into, like, this part of the flashback where 355 meets 355.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of...
Her recruiter, effectively.
Yeah.
And trainer to start with.
Yep.
And brings her into the Culper Ring and tries to explain a bit about it. Yeah. Starts her training and basically brings her in and shows her what it's all about. And it's the first person that she kind of trusts enough to let in and train her to be the person that she needs to be.
Yeah. And then...
I did love this bit where she's like, "What's the strongest muscle in your body?" And 355's reaction is, "I don't know, the heart." It's like, "No, it's not the heart, you fucking sappy bitch! It's your jaw muscle!" And then it's basically, you can bite off a man's penis with it.
Yep.
Yeah, or rip it off of his pelvis. This is your death later. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get to her taking over 355's moniker, really. Because her training...
A bit more of her training, and then her introducing her to Prime.
Yep.
Yeah, then original 355 has gone rogue and is trying to shoot the president because of Monica Lewinsky for some reason. I wasn't quite sure why it made her quite so angry, but
yeah, me neither.
Yeah. something about the Monica Lewinsky thing made her so angry she wanted to kill Bill Clinton.
Of course. Well, who wouldn't?
Yeah,
Uh, but we get this great part where they put their weapons down. The original 355 breaks out the baton
hmm
and basically like knocks new 355 kind of senseless.
yeah.
And
Breaks both of her arms.
yeah, and she's like, I remember, or I haven't forgotten the strongest
Yeah.
muscle, and she takes a chunk out of her neck
Yeah,
and lets her bleed out.
and that's what, and that we probably, it wasn't very clear from the beginning, but it becomes clear now that that's why she's having this flashback at this point, because she knows what it's like to eat human flesh.
Yeah.
She wasn't doing it for food.
That's
She
where we get
remembers
that
it
from.
in her mouth. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last issue, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm speeding this along because it's almost time for me to go pick up Lucas.
Yeah.
But we get finally we get to see Ampersand. We haven't found out exactly what's going on with him right now, but we figure out why he is the way he is. He was a test subject, really.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's the Dr. M, whoever that is, that Toyota's working for to try and get Ampersand back. And injected him with some sort of serum.
yeah,
And he was meant to be sent to a lab for Dr. Mann to work on without her realising it. So she wasn't meant to realise that whoever this Dr. M is was furthering her research without her knowing it.
yeah.
But there was a mix-up at the airport.
Of course, there was a mix-up at the airport.
And the two capuchin monkeys that were there, the one that was Ampersand was meant to go to this lab, but ended up with Yorick, and the other one ended up going to the lab.
Yeah, that was that was funny. I was like,
Completely different.
like classic slapstick
baggage
switcheroo.
Yeah. And the baggage handler like talking about was like, what difference does it make where they go? It was like, oh, one's going to join this thing. One's from a joint that helps train helper monkeys. The other one's going to some research facility. That means one of them's going to be opening champagne bottles for Larry Flint, and the other one's going to get nail polish dumped in its eyes for the rest of its life.
Yeah, and then the monkey starts sort of throwing shit at them
Yeah. Which
Oh, which is
has
fun.
to be Ampersand, because he just loves throwing the shit at him.
because it's Ampersand. Yeah. And then we cut back to Ampersand getting to Yorick, and yeah,
Yorick just being Yorick and being like, I'm going to
Yor-
treat this as just a job thing I'm doing, and then just opening up and emotionally confiding in this monkey.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah, but it's just, oh my god, what the fuck am I doing?
yeah,
Yeah. Talks because he goes into this whole big rant talking about Beth, and then just turns to see what Ampersand thinks, and he's just chewing the remote. He's like,
like,
and then we get this horrible flashback.
oh god, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Yorick going to meet his friend, who is being eaten by cats. Like just
The mutilated corpse being eaten by cats.
it's something Bernie Wrightson would have drawn.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And this kind of, it's, what I really like about this issue is that it shows you quite how deep the relationship is between him and Ampersand. Because it's always been, monkey flinging shit around. But it's like when he realises he's alone for the first time, Ampersand's there with him. And he's always there for him. And it's, it really, it sort of deepens it. But it deepens it from the perspective of Yorick, which you kind of expect. But then, forward a bit, you realise that actually Ampersand feels a lot of this as well.
There's this great dream sequence.
I love this dream sequence so much.
Go ahead. You could talk about it.
It's because there's another bit with Toyota looking for them and he's figured out that the monkey's with the right person. And then we get to this dream sequence and it's Ampersand in a massive nest surrounded by eggs, just floating on an ocean on his own, looking completely terrified. One of the eggs hatch, and it's Yorick's face, and he looks at it, and then this gull comes down to try and steal the egg, and he protects it by like screaming at it and holding it in his arms.
Yeah.
I just love it. And then he cuts to his face while he's asleep, and he's all, "Ooh, ooh, no."
Next to a completely naked yoga doing Toyota.
Yeah, and is it me, or is she doing the martial arts thing that the guy does naked at the beginning of Die Hard 2?
It does look
She's
like that.
exactly the same.
That's right. That's funny.
Yeah, especially with the baggage handling thing. I don't think that could be accidental Die Hard 2 reference.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But no, I just love that dream. I love that in Ampersand's little head when he's asleep and he's all stressed and he's been drugged and he's been knocked unconscious, he's having horrible nightmares about having to protect Yorick from all dangers. It's just
Right.
such a sweet little dream.
I love this monkey.
And then the monkey proves that he's a badass as well.
Yeah, that's right.
He takes on a ninja with a sword, with a samurai sword, and just pisses in her
Pisses right in her
eyes.
face.
And then escapes because he's
And-
just amazing.
Yep. And now he's free in Japan.
Yeah. Running around and very happy with himself, missing a piece of his tail.
Yeah, poor guy.
Yeah.
And that's where we end Volume 7.
Yep. So yeah, it's a volume that moves bits along, brings lots of characters together, furthers the plot, gives us a bit of background, but doesn't have any one major focus. And I think it's really good for that.
Yeah. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed this one.
And it was a bit fun to come back to as well, after being away from it for a while, to
Yeah,
refresh the memory and remember who everyone was and what they were doing and where they all were.
exactly.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
For 6 months.
we'll see you guys in 6 months for Volume 8.
Now I know that this is possible to do it in this way, in this new space and set up and things. It probably won't be another 6 months until we do the next one. 'Cause
Let's hope not.
I want to carry on reading this now.
Yeah, me
I've
too.
forgotten how much I missed it.
Yeah. I was gonna say after reading this one, I wanted to jump right into number 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's good that feeling's going to get worse as it goes through the last 3 volumes as well. Each time you finish it, you're like, I want to read the next one now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, we will try to do this again
Yes.
sooner than 6 months.
Yes.
When we decide to, when our life schedules work around each other again, we'll put the word out, and hopefully you guys can join us again.
Yes. Thanks
So
very much.
thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later.
See ya.
Bye.